Well, greetings once again, my friends. I'd like to welcome you to another video, and I'd like to show you things of interest, things of historical significance, and today is no different. Today I want to show you a book, and it's not going to be so much the content today, because I am going to be doing a presentation for you guys on its contents, or I'm going to try to organize the information and present it. First of all, I'd like to say, if you're watching this video, I hope you're sitting on a beach with your toes in the sand and it's 70 degrees and you're sipping on a drink as the waves come crashing down. Because here in New England, right now we're being bombarded by a blizzard. So what better way to pass the time, as long as we still have power, than to make a video for my friends. And today I want to show you, the book is Fire at Sea, and this is the story of the Morro Castle by Thomas Gallagher. And you can see this absolutely poor ship. She does not deserve this. Right now, I'm probably a little more than a quarter through the book. And I tell you, Hollywood couldn't come up with a better story than this. All the scenarios and what's happened, from just the death of the captain, just the way everything gets kind of thrown together in a perfect storm. Now imagine if you're at the beach and you see this burning ship just kind of floating aimlessly and wash up ashore. That's what the people of New Jersey had seen. Now that could be pretty traumatic. And that's what the book is about. The book actually pieces together the final voyage of the Morro Castle. And I've been taking notes, and I'm going to kind of put a timeline together for you guys on what happened aboard this ill-fated ship. But the book itself is by Thomas Gallagher, and I believe this was 1959 that this was published. And on the back you can see a photo of Thomas Gallagher. Thomas Gallagher is the author of 2 novels. His first, The Gathering Darkness, was one of 10 novels nominated for the National Book Award in 1952. His second, The Monogamist, appeared in 1955. Mr. Gallagher lives and works in New York City. His third novel, a section of which has appeared in Accent, will be published next year. You can see his photo. And taking a look on what makes, another thing that makes this book pretty special is when you open it up, you can see it's actually signed by Thomas Gallagher. October of 1959, to Mr. I could say to Mrs. J.E. Pierce, with appreciation, Thomas Gallagher. So that's pretty cool. It would be nice if he just signed his name and a date, because I don't know who J.E. Pierce is, but if in any event, that person does not own this book anymore. So we look at the front. I'll show you guys. You can see originally in 1959, this was a $4 book. Fire at Sea, the story of the Morro Castle by Thomas Gallagher. On a stormy September night, 25 years ago, the luxury liner Morro Castle was plunged through heavy seas on its return voyage to New York from Havana. It was shortly after 2 o'clock in the morning, and the ship was just a few miles off New Jersey shore. Most passengers were sleeping. Some were fishing up a game of cards, others were enjoying their nightcaps before retiring. Suddenly, spreading with tragic speed, sheets of flame engulfed the entire superstructure, and within an hour, hundreds were dead, floundering in the water following mass abandonment of the doomed ship. The cause of the mysterious fire was not the only secret the Morro Castle held. A few hours before the discovery of the flames, ship captain Robert Wilmot had died in his cabin under strange circumstances. Was he poisoned? Was the fire accidental? And we continue this on the back. Was it, as some said, the communist plot, negligence on the part of the crew, or was it premeditated by an arsonist aboard ship? Not until publication of Fire at Sea has there been an adequate explanation of these questions. Here answered in this remarkably skillful and dramatic reconstruction of the tragedy of the Morro Castle. Thomas Gallagher has uncovered evidence never before made public, and drawing on innumerable interviews with survivors together with an exhaustive study of the entire printed record, has combined fact with theory to arrive at his own sensational conclusions about the cause of the origins of the fire. With a good reporter's meticulous attention to detail and a fine novelist's sense of drama, Mr. Gallagher has vividly recaptured all the facts of an unforgettable story at sea. There is courage, cowardice, heartbreak, heroism, viciousness, and even stark humor in this story. And most of all, the author offers for the first time the astonishing solution to one of the enduring mysteries of maritime history. Jacket design by Ben Felder, Brian Hart and Company, Incorporated, New York, Toronto, also in Toronto. 232 Madison Avenue, New York, 16, New York. So, let's take this over to the desk and I'll be able to show you the photographs inside in better light. All right, so it's a little bit easier to show you guys this in a better light and with the use of the tripod. See that picture of the ship? Again, that's so sad. It's a really beautiful ship too. And this ship specialized in the United States cruises from New York to Havana, Cuba. And this is a time of prohibition, so a lot of the people were able to drink, and that's now you can tell, you can imagine that's contributing to the popularity of the ship. But that's another video. I just want to show you the book itself, Fire at Sea: The Story of the Morro Castle by Thomas Gallagher. You can see the signature from Mr. Gallagher inside the book. That's so cool. Because of all the copies, because I was thinking of doing research on the Morro Castle, and when I was looking for the books, they had a couple of them, but when I saw the one with the signature in it, I figured, yeah, that's the one to get. And I'm about, maybe just about a quarter of the way through, and I got a lot of information. Let me show you what I've been doing. I've actually been taking notes. So I can put together a video for the timeline. And actually, that's the end of the notes. So I've got a lot of notes so far because I want to get all the detail possible. So I'm trying to keep track of everything. And Captain Robert Wilmot, 31 years with the Ward Line. The second officer was Ivan Freeman. The chief officer was William Worms. The radio operator, George Rogers, that character, he leaves a lot to be desired. He's not a very likable guy. We'll end up getting to that eventually. You can see I'm trying to put together an actual timeline from the events on the final voyage from Havana back to New York. The captain had passed. They're not sure if he was poisoned. He was complaining of stomach pains. Everything is really suspicious. And the fact that they were so lax with the safety precautions on the ship, it just, I don't know. You know, the Titanic was criticized for lack of lifeboats and safety precautions, considered to be an unsinkable ship. But that was more arrogance, I think. The Morro Castle, I think it was just plain, it was either laziness or just, I don't know, negligence. You think about it, it's really just gross negligence. And that's what I have as of right now for my notes. So I want to compile all my notes and I want to organize the information and I want to do a presentation to you guys. I want to do a timeline on what happened. But the book. You can see a nice picture of Mr. Gallagher on the back. And there are some photographs in this book. Let me show you guys. The first one, you see the Morro Castle. The Morro Castle before the fire at sea. And that's a very nice looking ship. She's very, very pretty. And I love how, look at all the way to the stern. There it looks like 1, 2, 3 decks. As opposed to a lot of the cruise ships where they just have the fantail in the back with just 1 deck. This one actually has 3. I like that design. And now we see her when she's ablaze. I think this is along the same lines of what's on the book cover. The Great Pleasure Ship on Fire. And that can be traumatic, seeing that wash ashore. Passengers hang from the rope as they wait for rescue. You can see where the arrows are. Again, that's, wow, you imagine going through that? You can see the lifeboat. Survivors as they approached the Monarch of Bermuda. And doesn't that kind of make you think of the Titanic survivors as they're being picked up by the Carpathia? Residents of Spring Lake, New Jersey greet the first lifeboat to reach shore. A survivor, weak from exposure and submersion, is removed from a fishing boat. The firehouse at Spring Lake was quickly converted into a hospital. The boat deck with an unlaunched lifeboat. I don't know if you guys can still make that out, but there is a boat there. Right there. These are just heartbreaking pictures. One of the enclosed decks after the fire. You can see everything is just burnt down to the bare metal. Imagine the heat that engulfed that. A lifeboat that never got lowered. See if you guys can see that picture. The scarred liner beached at Ashbury Park. Salvagers tried to free the charred hulk, the Morro Castle, for 3 months after the disaster. A close-up of the beach vessel with crowds of sightseers gathered. You don't see that every day, that's for sure. And again, this guy, when I tell you about some of his history, again, he's not very likable. Chief Radio Operator George W. Rogers gives his testimony during the federal inquiry in New York. Rogers in 1938 and 1953, after the Hummel murders. Again, not a very likable guy. You'll understand more as I read the details and about his past. Even things not even including the Morro Castle, what this guy was involved with. But my friends, this is the book, The Fire at Sea. Let me show you. It's got the removable jacket. You can see the book itself is in remarkable condition, considering its age, 1959. You can see Fire at Sea, Thomas Gallagher, Reinhardt Books. And again, it's a little weathered, but, you know, it's 1959. And the The sleeve has really done its job over the years in protecting this book. And again, this is a piece of history, recording and documenting the stuff that really happened. You can see on the back page is total dead 134 is the official count. And I think they've got the whole list of those that perished. Yep. So there are quite a bit of them. This is, to end the book, is the crew list. And it's in alphabetical order. Again, I just want to show you. I mean, the ship was not Titanic size, but it was still a pretty good size ocean liner. So Mr. Gallagher did a lot of research, a lot of information in this book to go through. And my intent is to, like I said, I want to make a timeline of this book to show you guys all the events that led up to eventually having her grounded on the beach, the burnt out wreck. And that'll bring us back to the last page. So, my friends, I wanted to actually show you the book itself, not so much the contents right now. That's going to be another video, but I just wanted to show you this marvelous book and the signature and a little bit about the author, Thomas Gallagher. So, my friends, until we do the history of the ship video, take care, and I'll talk to you guys very soon.